What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about anxiety-related globus hystericus, that lump in the throat tight feeling. Throat tightness is another way of describing it. You are not alone if you deal with this symptom. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you struggle with this particular anxiety symptom. You are not alone. I definitely struggled. Be sure to comment your experience or anything that has helped you with anxiety-related globus hystericus, all right? Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the family. I make tons of videos like this to help you with your anxiety and anxiety symptoms. I love to explain how and why anxiety causes the things that we feel, right? It helps us accept better. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. You need to make sure that you go see a doctor to get that initial reassurance. So if you deal with this symptom, the quickest way to feel better about that symptom is to have a doctor look at you and examine you and let you know, look, this is just anxiety related. There's nothing bad going on with your throat. So my experience with globus hystericus is pretty interesting because in the first half of my anxiety journey, it was very sporadic. It was isolated. I needed a panic attack to cause this lump in a throat type feeling. And trust me, it was still terrifying because it really made me feel like I was dying, that I couldn't swallow, that I was suffocating, that I couldn't get a good breath in because everything was tight. It felt like there was a baseball in there, right? I mean, it would be so tight that I almost felt like it was painful at times. It may be hard to believe. I don't know if you've dealt with that. Let us know if you've dealt with actually pain from it being so tight. But I would deal with that as well. But I needed like anxiety attacks and panic attacks to cause this, right? But I went through a period towards the middle of my anxiety journey where I fixated on it so much after an episode of feeling it, it stuck there and it became more chronic. So yeah, you can have some of these symptoms in isolated situations, but if you make the mistake, like I did with many of my symptoms, of fixating on it and fearing it and focusing on it heavily, you can actually cause that symptom to stick with you. And I did that. Fear is gasoline for these symptoms, so I fixated on it. What is that? Why am I feeling like this? Oh my God, please go away. Is there something wrong with me? You know, I had health anxiety, so I was like, do I have throat cancer? You know, is there a tumor in there? You know, and then I go to the doctor, they look down there, they tell me there's nothing there, but it feels so freaking real, right? So I actually started to think that I had throat cancer. I went through a little bit of a period where I was nervous to eat my food. I felt like I was gonna choke on my food just because of the sensation of my throat already being full, like there's something lodged in there. So I had to be careful with my eating. At least I felt that way because I felt like if I took too big of a bite, I was going to choke, right? So I went through a period of that. Luckily, that didn't last super long. I know some of you are really struggling with your ability to eat or the nervousness of swallowing or choking on your food. The struggle is real with that. But that was my experience. In the beginning, it was more sporadic. I needed a panic attack. But later on, I made the mistake of fixating on it. And it felt really freaking real, all right? And the funny thing is like, I can think of times earlier in my life where I actually had this sensation, but it wasn't from an anxiety attack or a panic attack. Think about a time in your childhood or even in adulthood, whatever, because this can happen in adulthood, that you tried not to cry, right? You got your feelings hurt, or you're watching a movie and you're trying to hold it together, or you're having a conversation with somebody and you don't want them to see that you're crying, and you can't get rid of that liquid stress. What happens? It's like your throat starts to swell up, almost to the point to where it starts to hurt. You know, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I feel like that's globus hystericus. We just don't realize it, right? We just think it's, oh, because I'm trying not to cry, my throat hurts. But it's kind of like the same thing, in my opinion. So I don't know if that's ever happened with you, but that's pretty interesting. So why does this happen, okay? If you've gone to the doctor, you've been told that this is anxiety, how does anxiety cause this symptom? How does it make my throat feel like that? Where it's a combination of things. The first is just your stress response. When you have a stress response, you know, an extreme version is going into fight or flight, you release stress hormones into your bloodstream. So this is gonna vary from person to person. Some people, it just may be like their chest hurts really bad. For some people, it could be leg pain. It just depends. I was one of the lucky ones to get every freaking thing, right? So you have a stress response, right? Stress hormones go out, your throat starts to tighten up. So it's causing tension in your throat. It's muscle tension. All in this area. You got muscles all in here, right? I've even told people before, like, I believe that like 80 to 90% of our anxiety symptoms are due to muscle tension, right? We have muscles in areas we don't believe that we have muscles, okay? So muscle tension, it's tightening things up, okay? But then we're gonna mix in hyperstimulation, hyper awareness, right? You, and I can't stress this enough, you feel things so much more than a person that doesn't have anxiety. If I quickly threw the symptom to them, it'd probably be 10 times less intense. You focus on your symptoms too much. You fixate on them. You catastrophize on them. You add fuel to the fire, the anxiety fire, right? You are fixating it, and anxiety is growing more powerful. It's getting stronger. The tension's getting stronger. And that's whenever you can make the mistake of keeping this symptom long term, right? It becomes a habit of the body, the subconscious, to send tension to this area. And whenever you respond in fear, you're pleading your case to keep the symptoms coming. You're doing it indirectly. You don't think that that's what you're doing, but you're just asking for the symptom to continue, right? So you do have to change your response. But you have the stress response, stress hormones are released, causes the muscle tightness, and then you combine that with your hyper awareness and your ability to really focus and harness the power of muscle tension. Focus muscle tension can make things worse. So this is what you got to do. You got to go to the doctor. You got to get checked out. Get them to tell you that things are okay. Don't expect the symptom to stop once you do that, okay? A lot of you expect to go to the doctor, get told that things are fine, and then it just go away. It doesn't work like that, especially if it's been going on for a long period of time. If it was more isolated, maybe you get lucky and it never comes back. But if it's been there for a while, it's a habit of the body, the subconscious, it's kind of solidified. You're going to have to break that down over time, but you need to get the acceptance, right? You need to get that first piece of important external reassurance. And now we're going to transition to internal reassurance. Convince your subconscious that this symptom is not needed by your actions, by your response to the symptom. If you respond in fear, if you fixate on it, it's going to get worse. It's going to intensify. So change your response. Challenge it. Hell, challenge it. That's what I did with a lot of my symptoms. Anxiety will do the opposite of what you want it to do. If you want it to go away, it gets stronger. If you want it to intensify, it confuses that usual process that happens. And it's like, wait a second. Maybe I don't need to be sending, my body this symptom, because consciously Trey's fine. He's telling me, come on, I can take it. Doesn't sound like he's very afraid, right? So you got to convince your subconscious that the symptom isn't needed, and you got to be consistent with it. So get that initial reassurance, transfer to internal reassurance, and change your response. But if you made it this far in the video, I want you to go down below in the comments, and in all caps, I want you to put, Globus, get out of here. Comment, Globus, get out of here. But a lot more goes into recovery, guys. That's why I created Elite Anxiety Bootcamp, a very affordable anxiety course that has so much packed into it, 100 videos, lifetime access, tons of other downloadables and materials that I feel like you need to get started on your road to recovery. So do that. That's my step-by-step blueprint on how I recover from panic disorder, health anxiety, generalized anxiety as well. Go check that out. It's going to be in the description and in the first pinned comment. Try therapy. If you've never tried therapy, there's an opportunity for you to get started on that. That's something that I did not take advantage of whenever I was going through my anxiety. So there will also be a link for online therapy in the description, also in the first pinned comment. Please give this video a like if you got value from it, and subscribe, guys, if you're new. Tons of videos like this, and if you have subscribed, do me a huge favor today and hit the notification bell so you can get updated whenever I put these videos out. I love you guys. I'm going to put a video right here. Check it out, and until next time, guys, keep fighting.